just for my page, whatever. But I'll put our thumbnail like that. Actually,
That's fine.
actually,
Hopefully somebody can tune in and let us know. Oh, well, can you
there we go.
can you check to see if
You're live. It already popped up.
okay.
So
What about the sound quality?
let me check.
Is it well, that's perfect.
Actually, we're good on here on my channel. You see, that steering wheel has a- yeah, we're good.
All
Ready when
right,
you are.
hey, shalom, shalom,
Shalom.
shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Bahashem,
Ba'ashem,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops here at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, brothers. That's pushing the work in truth with all sincerity. Of course, bringing forth the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai in these last and evil days. That testimony is the spirit of prophecy. Prophecy meant to say before. All right. And this lesson, I named it the same devil yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Really, it was a play on the scriptures about Yahweh Shai. And we know it says what? Yahweh Shai
It's the same yesterday, today. I
today
get it.
and tomorrow, right? But of course, Esau being the polar opposite, being the arch nemesis, being the adversary, Satan, okay? He is what? He's, the evil manifested in the world, the axis of evil, whatever you want to call it. But the point of this lesson is very simple. All right. He's always been the same devil, and we can always trust him to be the same devil when things, go awry for the worse, you know. And we kind of want to dig in a little history. We ain't gonna be too long, But what we normally do is we do a lot of comparing and contrasting, history because the scriptures say, well, there's nothing new under the sun. History has always been a lesson that we can learn from, and being prudent, we see the history concerning Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and for the most part, he's never changed. He's always been the same, and he's doing much of the same things today.
I got something for you.
Okay, and that's ultimately it's going to lead to his end. The Lord has suffered him long enough. All right, and as we can see, his world is coming down. So we got it, bro.
God, this is Jeremiah chapter 13 and verse 23. It says, "Can the Ethiopian change his skin,
Yes.
or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil."
Right.
And it's a good example. You look at a leopard and its spots, you can see that there's never been a spotless leopard. So it's just funny,
Yeah.
it could always be, Mike Wahlberg said it in the movie, the other guys. He goes, when you hear hooves, you think horses, not zebras. You know,
Yeah.
Esau, man.
When you see evil,
Yeah.
what do you think?
And you know that this man's history has been bloody and deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
It has been evil and wicked.
Ultimately, because that's the purpose the Lord created him for.
Yep, I was gonna get that.
Okay.
It says, so again, can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots?
Mm-hmm.
Then may you also do good that are accustomed to do evil. And and like the brother just said, the Lord created certain things to be a certain way, or a certain person to be a certain way. They're gonna be that certain way.
Yeah.
And Esau has never changed his his outlook or his image.
Yeah.
We've
His
talked
purpose.
about
Yeah.
his purpose, and his purpose is to like Elder Yashwama actually made the statement in a video. Esau's purpose is to create a world where he can destroy righteousness or a righteous person. That's what we're coming to with this new world order as well. So
That's a perpetual vendetta that he's always had. And yeah, the scriptures say that the wicked are estranged from the womb. I got that Psalms 58 and 1 really quick, and it reads, it says, do you indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, men? Okay, and that's the question that's always, because everybody want to prove their legitimacy and justify themselves. You know, and Esau, you definitely justified. All right. It says because you're a harm and you're a harm to all things living. You're a harm to humanity itself. All right. You're a harm to this planet, and you're not worthy enough to be in a position of power to dictate or to push any type of agenda or any purpose in the earth. You should just get ready for change, and essentially that's what's going to happen. But he's going to go out, fighting, so to speak, you know. And verse 2 it says, "Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the." Oh no, this ain't it. It was verse 3. But I'll keep reading. It says, "Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth." That's right, man. You gloat about the things that you do in the world. You're proud about, how many nations you conquered, and that's just like that guy Matt Walsh, right? Edomite on X, all right, and other platforms. He was famous about for doing a documentary on I think it was women or something like that. All right, and he was challenging the whole LGBTQA thing and whatnot. But that guy and many other guys like him, they gloat about them bringing a civilized world, and what's really done is brought tyranny. You brought war perpetually to the world, and the world hasn't been at rest. Okay, so you're the same devil, but you're the same devil. All right, yesterday. So you're nothing new that the world has never seen. You've always been the same tyrant. You've always had the same MO. All right, kill, plunder, rape, rob, and now it's out in the open for everybody to see. All right. So here it says the wicked are estranged from the womb. This is the point, right? It says they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, and that's all the so-called white man. That's his whole legacy, right? Speaking lies, being estranged, because when you go into that word estranged, it's dealing with your hostility to nature, okay? Your hostility to nurture, okay? Which the nurturing comes from the Heavenly Father, because he he created man and put men in a world that the world that he created was supposed to help maintain the man and help build mankind. It's supposed to help your longevity and livelihood and your sustenance. And what Esau, the so-called white man, has done, he's cut off nations, he's destroyed that very creation, and he continues to destroy that creation, right? And mainly it's through your policy, and to capture that, Antiochus or Antiochus, however you may say, the fourth, he did the same thing, in like manner, bringing policy, using flattery to what? Destroy. All right, so it's nothing new. But it says the wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, and that's what you are. You're a poisonous serpent, and anything you touch, the border of wickedness, anything you touch is going to be consumed. It destroys. All right. So it says they are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. So and basically what it means to stop your ears, to not want to hear correction. All right. So you're deaf when it comes to, anybody saying anything to correct you, because your whole modus operandi or your whole motive and purpose is to profit, no matter what extent you destroy, right? And you want to label so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans as habitual criminals, but what are you? Yeah. Especially with the work you've done in the world, what are you?
No, you're good. As you're talking, I'm looking for stuff to bring out, and I'm on ChatGPT trying to bring out Esau's violent and bloody history, and we know ChatGPT is a fixed algorithm, database, all that type of shit. So it'll say what it says to not take sides, but I'm trying to find an answer to try to get the entire bloody history of Esau, and it's
Yeah.
only it's trying to separate European history as a separate thing from the so-called white man's
Right.
being literally European history, history today, history. The topic is all Esau's history. We're living in Esau's history right now.
You even got
But
a chat line.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Chat is trying to soften the truth about Esau being violent. He says we can't tie it just to any race, but historians will avoid talking about these certain things. Instead, they'll look at political aspect, economic, technology, geographics, and all that.
But it's the same culprit, the same
Yeah.
person
It's the
behind
same
it.
person, yeah. So I got to preach that real quick.
Mhm.
This is Isaiah 59, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, because real quick, I was gonna say there's Esau put out a song. This was back in like 2012, 2013, called La La, and it literally the lyrics are hush, don't speak, don't spit that fire of your new Messiah, and it was talking about Yahweh Shai because this is when the truth was blowing up.
Mhm.
But it's literally talking about how when you start talking about this truth, they were aiming at us, at the men of the Lord. It said when y'all start speaking that truth, we put our hands over our ears and we start saying la 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 la. You've heard that
Yep,
song.
yep.
That's what it's about. But so
Yeah, we're grievous to behold.
yeah, you stop your ears, all that. So Isaiah 59 and 3 says, "For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies." Like you said earlier, anything you touch and anything that you put your hand to, you corrupt it, you defile it, you pervert it. You use it for an attempt to get over on or to keep in a delusion. Like key point our people, and then you try to say that we're the problem.
It's always diverting the attention
Yep.
away from your
Yep.
your wickedness.
Yep.
You thrived in iniquity. You thrived in just doing bad, just overall, man.
Like
you know?
people were watching Hillary Clinton being put on this thing about the whole Epstein thing, right? And she immediately demoned up and said, like, I'm not doing this I'm not having this.
Deflect.
She acted as if that was justified and that was right.
Yeah.
And people were like, yeah, leave her alone. She's a victim. What?
Yeah, but
Esau's a good ass liar, man.
Yeah.
He's wicked.
But soon enough, you're not gonna be able to escape those lies no more.
Yep.
You're not gonna be able to just get away. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Esau's been getting away from stuff. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. And again, the same devil yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You're not gonna be able to get away with these things no more, because now it has reached the highest courts. All right. They subpoena them to go to, sit down. They got to stand before Congress or whoever they got to stand before, and they ask them, they drill them, all of that stuff, and nothing. There's no reprimanding. There's nobody being arrested. It's just like, they deal with the shame and then go about and they don't even have shame. They just go about their regular old lives.
Right. Yeah.
But this time around, man, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Well, like I said in 2nd Esdras 11, they're talking about the Roman Empire, but we know that this is Rome 2.0. Literally, back again, it said that therefore have your harmful acts come up unto the highest. Now you're dealing with the Heavenly Father, man, and that's why we always tell you that he's going to be the one to put a stop to everything.
Right.
So, but it says again, for your lips have spoken lies, your tongue hath muttered perverseness. None calleth for justice, nor any pleaded for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. It says and this is the point I wanted to get. They hatch cockatrice eggs and weave the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed breaketh out into a viper. Now, if you know what a cockatrice is, it's a spider. It's a certain type of spider, but it spins a crazy ass web. And that's what Esau's done with this.
The world he's created.
The world he's created is one big web, and everybody gets caught in it, man. That's why, like, you notice the world keeps on going when the person is in total dismay and turmoil. You become part of that trap, and it doesn't matter. What's that saying? Take no prisoners. The system that Esau created takes no prisoners, because we even see his own people getting caught up in the system or become victims, so to speak.
Yep. That's why the scriptures tell us what Micah 2 and 10. It goes into this not being our rest, and it shall pollute you or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It shall destroy you.
It was a precept I was thinking about, man.
And that's why we have to remain abstinent from indulging in this fashion of life, in this way of life, because in all seriousness, this place will corrupt you and destroy whatever merit or moral that you have.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
because that's just how toxic this devil is in his ways, and that's why he has to be eliminated. He is like a virus,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
I don't forget it.
Come. Yeah, Micah 2:10. You said.
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
got it. Yep, this is Micah chapter 2 verses 10, and it says, "Arise ye and depart. All right, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction."
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that reference, but the scriptures describe Esau's skirt once it's been discovered as very, very dirty,
Mm-hmm.
but that's reckoned or likened as into this place. You know, if you fall to Esau's deception and world that he's put over your eyes to blind you from the truth, it'll you become a byproduct of Esau. You become him, man. And that's why you have certain people, man, that they're just freaks. They're crazy. They're weird. I seen this one woman yesterday. I can't remember what she called herself, but she was known that she married a tree, and dude asked her like, and it was an Israelite woman, or it could have been a speckled bird, whatever, but they asked her, has the tree ever cheated on you? And she's like, yeah, more than likely, but everybody looking at each other like, is this really happening? That's Esau type of mentality, weird stuff, man. But yeah, it'll sorely destroy you. That was a example, but like the brother said, being abstinent from this place, being controlled,
Yeah, for sure.
and the Lord and the Heavenly Father, we already always make mention, has an extreme problem with this man.
Mm-hmm.
He calls him certain names, man. That like, if you really understood the gravity of what it means to be called the man of sin, a man. So you look up the man of sin,
perdition.
the son of perdition, the son of destruction, the he that I am against thee, thou that destroys the earth.
Yep.
The border of wickedness. Man, he calling you the personification of wickedness.
Yeah.
So that's very, very, like today you look at someone like, how dare you? How
Mm-hmm.
dare you do something like, that's how the Lord is.
Yep. So always saying today is just a remnant of what he's always been.
Yeah.
So I want to I kind of want you to go to the chat and do like a summary
Okay.
of Daniel, maybe 11th chapter.
Ooh.
Yeah, just a summary, because we know this is you read Daniel's prophecy of basically the Edomites in particular. Uh, you know they their time in the earth, and what they were doing in the earth.
Daniel
And,
11.
Yeah, just see if you can get a summary. And then because this is a particular point in time where Esau, he came up into power, and he came up against the holy nation, of course. They spread their power. You had the Seleucid Empire, you had the Ptolemaic Empire, you had all of these empires that flourished somewhat, and they were fighting against each other as well. So we always had that white on white, so-called white on white Edomite crime as well.
Yeah.
Fighting for position and power. So first, I'm gonna start with First Maccabees 1, just to shed a little history, dealing with his flattery, and also his policy.
I got a good point I'm gonna start at.
Okay.
Because it gives a short, but there's a good point to start from.
Because I want to segue into the history, and then you can.
Because it really starts around verse 21 to verse 35 with Antiochus Epiphanes.
Okay.
And it tells how what he did, certain things he did against us.
Okay.
So, do you want me to read that first, or do
Uh,
you want to read that?
yeah, and then I'm gonna
Okay.
read this the first book of Maccabees. All right, I got this new Bible, and it's like a study Bible, and it kind of gives you give you a summary of what's going on when you read before you read it. So the Maccabees were Jewish guerrilla warriors who led an uprising against the Seleucid kings who ruled over Israel beginning in 167 BC. The book of First Maccabees summarizes the events prompting the revolt. All right, uh, the revolt led by Mattathias, First Maccabees 2:1 through 70, and the resistance continued by his sons Judas. That's chapter 3, chapter yeah, chapter 3. All right, on Jonathan, Simeon. First Maccabees provides the best account of the Jewish or Israelite resistance that ultimately brought independence to the Israelite state. The annual Israelite festival of Hanukkah, celebrated in the same season as Christmas, uh, commemorates the rededication of the temple. So it's a very important part in our history, all right, because of bravery of the Maccabees. The New Testament refers to this festival as the Feast of Dedication. So just a little bit of history, and then we're gonna start at First Maccabees, chapter 1 and 1. All right, and it happened after Alexander, son of Philip, all right, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, right, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, all right, because this is the Greek Empire was established, all right after the Medo-Persian Empire, and that's in Daniel the 8th chapter. When you read that, that's a prophecy of these Edomites being established, and actually Alexander had much respect because he was pretty much he seen himself
In
in
prophecy.
prophecy.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had much respect unto the Israelite people. Okay, so it says Salaki, it says that he reigned in the stead the first over Greece, all right, the Edomite Empire, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host, all right, and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, all right, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. And that's pretty much what what we're focusing on, the same devil yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Because whenever he was put in power, whenever he was ruling, he pushed forth evil. All right. And it's the same thing he's doing, okay? But even the history captures it. The history points it out. So you're dealing with that same devil. And he's going to do much of the same thing. And then we're coming into those times, the evil times, the sorrows, where he's going to use policy, which we're going to touch on lightly, to advance that wickedness, to push that wickedness in the earth.
Yeah.
And so this devil is all about his politics. He's all about his money, and again, just much of the same. Him. All right, you got it.
Real quick, just to throw little points out to fill in. Fact, you got to factor in that he's like Alexander the Great. Regardless that he was somewhat cool with Israelite or Israel, he was an Edomite.
Right.
It talked about him in there. It said that he had exceeding pride, and there's only one man on the planet known to be like that. It's a so-called white man.
Yeah.
It was documented that during the reign of Alexander the Great, he actually conquered quick. It's spoken about in the prophecy in Daniel, I believe, 7 and 8, that it said he was swift on his in his feet touching off the ground.
He moved with Chola.
Yeah, Kohler. Yeah,
Kohler. Yeah.
The Kohler was more against, I think it was Darius. the
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
But you know, he conquered so quickly and fast, and it was 7 years that he acquired the whole entire known world at that time. But it was said that he cried because there was nothing left to conquer in his life. Who does that?
Yeah, Esau.
You know, Esau. Who cries about not being able to dominate more of the world?
Wow.
So you know, but that is an Edomite. But so Alexander the Great, then what was it? The four generals, the three that came afterwards.
Yeah, Seleucus,
Edomites,
Antagonists,
Cassander, Ptolemy.
and Ptolemy. I know one took over.
It was Cassander. Was it Cassander that took over? Antagonist. Lysimachus.
Yeah, Lysimachus.
There you go.
Salaki.
But so those were Edomites, and then we mentioned Antiochus. So
Yeah, that was his four generals.
Yep.
With 5 in there.
Yeah. But these certain historic Edomite figures are also known as precursors to how Esau really is, because these were key Edomites that showed specific character of what they were at that time. And as we've seen, how they used flattery, they used peace.
They tried to bring a one world order.
They tried to bring up. Yep. They all fighting for that one world dominance.
Yep.
Esau, if you haven't noticed, with these so much about these other nations that have been conflicted with him lately, but it's because these negotiations he's trying to make, the solutions is that America remain on top.
Yeah.
It's the same type of behavior.
Same thing.
You know?
Same person. Yeah.
So, you know, precursor, you know, what we're talking about, everything, it still highlights, it's still the same. Again, can the Ethiopian change its skin? Can the leopard change its spots? So, you know, information, history, everything, it speaks on how it's a constant.
Yeah, kind of.
Now it should, you know, he's managed, and another part of Esau, man, is he's a master manipulator and liar.
Yeah.
And he's managed to brainwash you people so hard that you're either dull or you just don't care that he's the one that you know, when you go around the corner and what was that? And there's clearly someone in the middle of the street, you see him, and that guy has the weapon or whatever, or he's covered in blood, and he tell you, no, I'm just walking around. And you're like, oh, okay, that's what he got y'all people to, man.
But you'll blame the the minority or the poor or so-called Negro. Or,
they on the other side of the world.
Yeah, just because of the narrative that the Esau created, to get you to believe it. And that's his strongest tool is deception.
Yeah.
Misleading people. But that's about to wear off because that's witchcraft. That witchcraft is about to wear off. I got this precept really quick. Ecclesiastes 1:9. All right, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun.
You got good and you got evil. The Lord rightly divided and clarified who's the good and who's the wicked. That's right. And Esau's the wicked. He created the smith that bloweth the coal in the fire, man. Esau's the only one that's designing and inventing new weaponry. When you look into the book of Maccabees during the Greek Empire, it talked about how Esau, it said he was either mastering or perfecting his engines of war. Who's the one that's always working on weapon technology?
Think about even going back, you had Tubal Cain. His name, says it all. But they were artificers, I believe.
Yeah.
I know the elder one brought this out in the lesson before. And their whole thing was on weaponry.
And they're trying to do that right now. The brother sent a clip this morning about
the people over there in AI. They want to regulate. They want to have the government. Right, they don't want any regulations. They don't want
drop your safety procedures.
Yeah, all your safety procedures. Why? Because they're going to use it to bring forth more evil, more wickedness.
Yeah, it was
much of the same dough.
Yeah, the companies said they had two policies that would not break.
Yeah,
and the government, the Pentagon, was trying to decline it. They didn't tell them to do that, but it's literally they were
What's
said.
The name of the company? I forgot. Start with an A, I think.
Anthropic.
Anthropic.
Yep. But but they were blacklisted because they refused to weaponize the AI and use it as
in favor of the government,
for the favor of the government and
or Trump's or Nero's his
yeah.
his venture, what he wants to do.
Like that's crazy because we're telling you this stuff again, man. That right before your face, that your government, your so-called peaceful, looking out for your better interest and peace and harmony is looking into technology to use and track you and destroy you and keep you in this state of la la land or to harm you. And you people don't think it's real because it ain't happening right now. You know.
It's not Peter Thiel. It's the other guy that that's head of Palantir.
I don't know.
I might be called Peter Thiel, but weird dude, kind of long hair, glasses. They all look the same. Edomites anyway. But he said, we're
Alex Karp.
Yeah. Let me see. You got a picture? Yeah, that's him. Alex Karp. Can you show him?
Yeah. Let's see if I can even make it bigger.
Yeah, this guy was talking about using Palantir to kill, and he was happy about it. To kill whoever they wanted. All right, basically, But what's in his mind and in his heart is much of the same thing. The thief coming not but to kill and destroy. Let's get that real quick.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
This is John chapter 10. All right, and 10, and it reads all right, it says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life. All right, and that's why we preach Yahweh Shai, because what we want we want that life that Yahweh Shai that he's promoting, the healing, right, the righteousness, because this allows humanity to flourish. It allows man to flourish. Okay, equity and judgment and all of those things, and mercy and all of those things allow men to live on and to flourish, and mainly the Israelite men first. Okay, because through us we have to teach the rest of the world. Okay, but again, Esau, he's in position and it's of no value. He's not worthy, tekel, right? He's not measuring up to the requirements in order to run an important job, is maintaining the earth. Okay, and that's what the Lord created the earth for, so that it could be maintained. All right, and if you do good to the world, it's going to do good to you. But what this devil is just cutting people, it's all about him first. It's all about profit and cutting off everybody who he deems inferior than him. All right, when in reality, if you are, it says, the more mighty you are, the more humble you're supposed to be. Right? And it just shows that Esau lacks the character of just overall being a good fucking person.
Yep.
You lack all of those things that you need in humanity to thrive: mercy, honor, dignity, truthfulness, purity. All of those things, these are the things that we need to go on. But he disdains these things. It's an abomination in his eyes. All right, and he's always moved that way.
There's a scripture in Proverbs that talks about a thief stealing to a content, I believe, but not to despise that thief. But Esau has been a totally different type of thief. The scriptures do say the thief shall not go unpunished.
Right.
If he steal to satisfy his soul, or not to satisfy, but to, if he hunger.
Yeah.
If he steals because he's starving, but nevertheless he'd still be judged. But Esau is doing this. What is that in Obadiah?
It's a game to him, man.
It said, if how does it go? The grape gatherers come to thee.
Yeah.
Would they not leave some grapes?
Grapes, right.
But this man is stolen everything, man. And we already talk about the basic things. He charges you for water, charges you for the air, and contaminated air at that.
Right.
Like man, this thing been pissing me off lately. Gmail. They try, but I know why they're doing it, because they're trying to make everything digital. But you got to pay 49 cents a month now just to have more email space. Otherwise, you got to delete stuff in your folders somehow. Somehow it has to deal with your folders. It makes no damn sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
And then they charge you. They put ads on shit now. They charge you the it's just a constant monopoly, a
Yeah.
constant way of trying to come up and capitalize off of someone. And the earth doesn't need you anymore, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna read this real quick because I typed in just Chat GPT's being a bitch right now, man. He ain't trying to play ball right now, man. I said, is the white man the thief of the world? But right here, I
No,
said,
that's too. That's too. you gotta
he
be,
making me mad. I'm talking to him too, like, man,
you
just quit
gotta be,
lying.
you gotta be stealthy, bro.
So I just
You gotta
typed
be
in
stealthy.
on Google, the white man stole everything. And it says, the statement, the white man stole everything, is an expression that reflects the historical and ongoing grievances regarding the systematic expropriation of land, wealth, labor, and culture.
Right, systematic.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so systemically, has gotten everything, but through forged documents,
Fraudulent treaties.
yeah, fraudulent treaties, him appointing himself as the
You
authority,
don't
and
have to do more.
him deciding, uh, whether your life is important enough for you to live on land, a certain land, or and the list goes on, man.
Yep. Yeah, you got, so it says right here, the grievances regarding the systematic expropriation of land, wealth, labor, and culture from non-white populations, but primarily by European colonizers. It's the same people and their descendants. And it says that this includes a variety of historical events and cultural critiques. So regarding land and resources, you had something like the allotment era, which was between the Native American Indians. But it said that the Osage murders, killing the Native Americans for the wealth of oil.
That was
Uh,
in that movie, wasn't it?
yeah, the killer of the moonflower.
Yeah, the killer of the moonflower.
But
Yeah.
they had forced labor and wealth creation just for the so-called white man, cultural appropriation, where they would steal other cultures' artifacts and brand them as theirs, put
Hmm.
them in the museums to represent their culture. That also being to hide who he was.
Right. Right.
So, but you have a book, I think I can't remember who wrote it, called A Stolen Continent, and it's all about how the so-called white man came and stole everything, but mainly about America. So I was a thief.
God. So I got this real quick. This is First Maccabees 1:10. It says, "And there came out of them a root Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks." And can you get Daniel? Did you summarize?
Yeah, I got it.
The summary.
Yeah.
But again, it's just just to briefly just show you that these are the same thing that this devil's day is the thing that he did yesterday. All right, and it's exact same tactics. All right. So it says, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. All right. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go in a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow." Right. And you had a lot of, in short, you had a lot of Israelites, because I'm going to jump, pretty much tack on and become a part of the Greek society, or the Greek way of living. All right. Because of the influence of the, the Edomite culture. All right. So I'm going to jump to verse 16, right? It says, "Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of two realms." Okay. And I think Antiochus is a Seleucid, and then the realm he tried to take over was Ptolemy, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. So he says, it says, but that's all prophecy. What's actually happened, what we're reading in Maccabees, is written in the book of Daniel. Okay, so it says, "Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen, and a great navy," see, "and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly, okay, key emphasis on proudly, into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the shewbread, and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil. Then he even took down the veil. All right, and this is part of, the what it says, the sins of his youth. All right, he even took down the veil, the holy veil. Wow, it says, in the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled down or pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. Right, he's a thief. Okay, and this ain't no small, like, thievery, for the lack of better words. This is not a small feat. This is the most uh, 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 forward, the most proud thing you can possibly do,
Yeah.
especially to the Israelites.
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
in this part of the history, it actually points out when you research about Antiochus that everything he did in his conquest was usurped authority. Now we know what usurp is, one's own self-government.
Right.
Antiochus didn't do this with permission, by the way.
Right.
It's a fact.
Because the Romans had pretty much.
The Romans had to intervene.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the Ptolemaic, one of the ruler at the time. It was a young man, but he did get a warning out to the Roman Republic, and the Roman Republic had sent an emissary or a messenger, and had to tell Antiochus to stop the shit he was doing.
Yeah.
And it was said that Antiochus
Pissed them off. Huh?
Yeah, it was said that Antiochus was sorrowful, and he asked that man that was sick, because it was supposed to be a friend. He knew the guy; he would visit him, but he said, "Can I have time to think about this?" Because it was said that if he didn't stop doing what he was doing to Egypt and to Israel, they were going to come after him. And he was like, "Can I have a few days to think about it?" That's fucked up, man. And it was said there was a circle that was drawn around Antiochus.
Line in the sand.
And the man said, make a decision before you step outside the circle. But so Antiochus, again, he did this all of his own will. He had no permission to do what he was doing. So it lines up with today, because I was thinking, who made Esau the fucking ruler today? Who decided that this was the man to make the shots and the calls?
Ultimately, it was the Lord, because sovereignty comes from the Lord.
Right, but when you also read scriptures, it tells you that Esau set kings of himself.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord didn't set this up. From let's just say the earthly perception or view, it seems as if this man took up his own authority again, and he's ruling the earth, and he's the one that decided, I'm gonna be the king for now.
Yeah,
it's
illegitimate. Yeah, he's really illegitimate. But of course,
yep,
the Lord put him in power for a purpose. Yep. It's a purpose beyond all of, for the Lord's purpose, ultimately, to take out the wicked, because he is the wicked.
Yep.
So going here, back here, was that it, bro? My bad.
Yeah. And I still got that Daniel for you.
So this is First Maccabees 1 and 24. We're still dealing with the proud shit he was doing. All right, and kind of, you gotta be able to visualize this man going into the temple, the holies of the holies, pulling down taking out all of the gold, taking down the veil, all of those things, and setting their things in place. So it shows you his proud nature. All right, it shows you his forwardness. So again, verse 24. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed.
About to happen again.
Yep, exactly. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully, expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah. Right. So to add insult to injury, now you had to pay a tax. Right. So it says, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. So he came with a lot of soldiers, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. And see again, that's the same trait that he has. Speaking peaceable, but what? It was all deceit. So he's doing much of the same thing, speaking flattery. All right. And I think, is that in Daniel where he spoke flattery?
I was about to get that.
All right. It says, for when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people in Israel. So, and for an example, they were supposed to be having a peace treaty or talks. They're supposed to be having a sit down with Iran, and we know Persia, that's the Elamites. But just for an example, as they're negotiating, he bombs. He's bombing them.
Yep.
So another Edomite trait being shown, another of the wicked. All right, that's just heinous, man. How the fuck are you supposed to be negotiating? You're luring these people in to negotiate, but behind their backs, you bombing them at the same time. It's bugged out. But that's the kind of people. I mean, that's the kind of person you're dealing with. Sick and deranged. And then I'm gonna get to the one world. And then let's see here. Verse 31, and when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls whereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. Right? Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. They put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. Okay. So you got it, bro.
I got something. I got a couple actually, but I'll just read this one. Psalms 36:1 says, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of the Most High before his eyes, which there was no fear when he did what he did to the temple, when he took everything down, when he set up his own altars, sacrificed swine's flesh, like it said. And we already know how the Lord looks at swine's flesh, man. That's a utter mockery and abomination to do to the Lord. Yeah. The Lord hates swine, like that. It has its purpose, but to sacrifice that most unclean animal on the planet, like
it's the ultimate spit in the face.
There you go. Yeah.
And in true honesty, Esau never paid for that.
Yep.
He never paid for that.
Yep. And what you got it today with this Greco-Roman system in America. That's why you got swine all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But it says, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful.
Right. So he's smoothly talking, flattereth himself in his own eyes. So he's smoothly, building himself up, and that's as much as the same thing we see even today. Even though he's done a ton of wickedness, and their carbon footprint is the most heinous track record ever. All right. He's still talking to himself as if he's the perfect person.
Like you flicked off this dude because he called you a pedophile after they found out you were a pedophile, but you feel like you in the right to defend yourself,
right?
Like as if that's justifiable to be a pedophile.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to come down with great wrath upon those who are exposed and have been exposing their behavior in the earth. That's what we're coming against. So he's going to use the law of justice, to what? To basically to frame deceit,
yep.
And to go after the poor, to go after the righteous in upright speech.
Policy.
Yeah.
And real quick, the word policy goes into the word cunning, which the word cunning means to be skillfully deceptive.
Yep.
So who was known to be cunning from the very beginning? Esau, man. The same way
serpent
with the wordplay of bitter.
Yep.
America meaning bitter. The first time that the word bitter was ever used in the scriptures was at Esau, when he started crying with a bitter cry. it's wordplay right there, but it means something and it connects to something.
Right.
Now, it's bitter how this devil deals with you people whenever he gets exposed or found out about something, and he'll create a law or pull out a law to protect him.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you try to pull out a law and defend yourself, it's wicked.
The law, the same law that he uses to persecute you.
Yeah.
That law you can't use to defend yourself.
It doesn't apply to you.
Yeah, it don't apply to you. You can't use it. That shit is like, there's no need for you in the earth. There's absolutely no reason for you, because
Right.
there's no balance. And the Lord says a false balance is an abomination to the Lord.
Yeah.
That's a false balance. Your whole society and what you created is a false balance. Almost every aspect of it.
It is.
And that's what's so astonishing.
Everything.
Everything you've built has been nothing but a deception, and it only leads people to destruction, man.
Yeah.
In short, okay, you got it, bro. My bad.
Now you get it says the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit.
Mm-hmm.
He hath left off to be wise and to do good.
Right.
So how do you like?
Yeah, he
you
left
said
off
it, you
to
said
do
it.
wise and
How-
do good. This nigga ain't doing nothing good.
The book, how the white folk got so rich, man. The first
Yeah.
page says that the American history and wealth and system has been held up by a rickety scaffold of lies. How has this man been able to
Rickety.
make a reality of lies hold it in place for now?
Yeah,
This man has been able, they say that the more you lie, the harder it is to tell the truth eventually,
Yeah.
or to keep up that lie.
mm-hmm.
This man's been able to do that this entire time. Generations, thousands of years of lies, he's been able to backtrack and keep close. But as we tell you, it's failing. And that's why we're in the time period that we are now, that his lies are failing. The secrets of Esau is becoming
It
bare.
ain't gonna be able to save him no more.
Right, right.
You know, it ain't gonna be able to save him no more.
Yep. So it says he had left off to be wise and to do good. It said he deviseth mischief upon his bed, and he setteth himself in a way that is not good.
That's
He,
it.
he abhorreth not evil.
Yep.
He abhorreth
So
not
what do you
evil.
think? Yeah, what do you think this whole system is about?
Jesus.
It's about using the technology to become 10 times or 100 times the tyrant that he is.
Yeah.
It's gonna make him the perfect machine, all right, and taking down, you know, the taking down the world, basically, man. You know, and if he's not stopped, then all flesh, the scriptures say that no flesh will be saved, man.
Mhm.
You know, all of us will be perpetual slaves to this man, completely lost and completely destroyed.
I got a precept. This is Proverbs 29:5, because it says, "A man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet."
That's it.
And like you said, what did you just say about everybody being destroyed? You just said it.
Oh,
But the way that this man is destroying the people, I was going to say, is through his flattery.
Yeah.
We were talking about the tariff relief funds,
yeah.
stimulus checks. If you go online right now on Instagram, or you get these the ads, the emails, it's always about like have bad credit. Banks still legally can't deny you if you need a $40,000 loan. Everything's
Luring you to another trap.
right, but then you try to apply for it, you can't even get it. It's flattery, man.
Yeah.
And you get mad, but what can you do? You can't do anything.
And right, anybody that has that much power shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah,
That's completely unsustainable.
yeah,
That's completely unsustainable, and completely unfair.
yep.
But we understand, like, we understand in this whole thing, us being able to unfold and unlayer his behavior and what he and his ways. It was all a lesson to make the world a much better place when we bring righteousness. So we had to understand oppression. We had to understand inequality. We had to understand hatred and all of these vices that he pushes, so that we can push righteousness on a level that the world has never seen. So yeah, I mean, he was a necessary evil to learn from, because the evil that he's predicated and pushed all over the world, we're never gonna see it anymore, and it's gonna get punished, and it's gonna get openly punished before the world. You know.
And the scriptures say in Isaiah 14, or is it 14, where it says that the whole earth is at rest.
Yeah.
I mean, because after this, because we see it now, man, and especially those men in this truth, and you do have, people outside of this thing, or out that, or just a common class person that they get so irritated, man. It gets so fucking annoying, like even like yesterday, like with what I was dealing with on the phone, man, about this, this issue with my money.
Yeah.
It's so annoying, and even I'll get so worked up sometimes because it's like really just one more damn thing, another damn thing. It's just always something, man, that's just fucking with us. Not just Israel, but like everybody is seeing, like, why is this always happening? Why is everybody always getting fucked with, man? Why is some shit? It shouldn't be happening, man. But we can hone in, and we can now,
See, pinpoint the problem.
There you go. And it's a so-called white man.
Yeah. So, I know we've been going for about an hour. So I'm gonna start back here in First Maccabees, and then because now the next point, and Salaki, because I ain't really been, I should have put it in bullet points, but the next example of the same devil yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This point is dealing with the his one world influence, his one world order influence, and how really it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for destruction. It's a recipe for manipulation. All right, and exploitation. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
I just noticed that.
Yeah. KJV.
Okay.
Man, hey, get
Bam.
this book.
Yeah.
It's a nice book. They got precepts, references, like it's pretty nice.
Yeah. I didn't even realize you reading the Apocrypha.
Yeah, exactly. First Maccabees 1 and 41, because I needed one. It says, moreover, King Antiochus, right, wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. All right. And the scriptures say that you're not supposed to encroach on anybody's land and not the inheritance. All right, that includes their culture.
Remove not the ancient landmarks.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's a problem, and it's a violation of the law. Okay, so this one world order influence, or pushing the one world order, is a violation of the Lord's law. Okay, because that one world order is not meriting anything that's coming from the divine and eternal law. All right. So it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Right.
And the scriptures tell you that the customs of the heathen are vain.
Yep.
So this Esau is technically like a heathen.
Yeah.
His customs are vain. His practices of behavior are wicked, malicious.
And where did he get the one world order idea from? Nimrod.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you see what the Lord did to that. He broke it up. So this ain't a recipe for a utopia or anything good. It's a recipe for disaster and complete confusion. Verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws. See, leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
And you got it the same way now. Think about it. The one thing that these nations are having a problem with now, after all these years, Western influence. Western influence, also another word for that is democracy.
Yeah.
They call it, Americans call it democracy. And if you notice how they set everything up in these other countries, it looks just like, even the infrastructure, the layout, the geographic layout, everything looks like an Edomite layout.
Yeah.
House, like the scriptures say, houses, how does it go? Psalms 49:11. How does it go?
Oh, that their houses shall continue forever?
No, there's one where it says,
woe to them that join house to house?
No, man, what's the one? They build house to house.
Yeah, I think that's
how do you word it?
I think join house to house or something like that.
but everything that this devil does, you know,
Yeah, I give you the 15-minute cities, the high rises,
yep,
the high rise housing, stacking people on top of each other. All of that shit is wicked. All of that shit is evil. All of it.
yep, yep,
And he's packaged it, all right, as some sort of way of living conveniently and more efficient.
Isaiah
It's
5
not.
and 8.
Okay, go ahead.
I haven't even, I thought it was a song. I don't know. Isaiah 5 and 8 says, woe unto them that join house to house,
Yeah,
that lay field to field,
yeah.
till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. And if you look at all these other countries, man, you can't. It's not. There's no. Look at around you. You know, just in America, man, house to house. You know.
And Esau doing something wicked in here. You got Gil Bates. He's buying up all the farmland, and others like him for heinous purposes, so nobody else could have it.
Yeah.
Cutting and hoarding all resources unto themselves. Now they're doing something where they call it tokenization, where they actually putting a price tag or a token, which is like a collective. It's like a tokenizing something. So like you can break it down into fragments, and it's like if it's difficult to understand. So like, okay, so this tree, right? I'm tokenizing this tree. So I'm giving you bits. So I'm giving you a token, but it's not the full control of that tree. It's just a small portion that you own of this resource. You see, and that ain't how the Lord broke down money. That ain't how the Lord broke down resources. All right, it's just your way of manipulating and monopolizing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that nobody has ownership.
Yeah, they created apps that you can literally buy a little plot of land like that big.
Yeah.
You know, and you can, people try to be like, I'm a sovereign citizen in this little piece of land.
Yeah. So yeah, much of the same shit, man. That's what the Lord, and we're gonna have to end it John 3 and 8, because you got to be taken out, man. You know, that this way that you about to introduce and have been pushing for is completely unsustainable, bro. So a little bit more on here. This is First Maccabees 1, and let's see here, 44 again. It says, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. And that's basically what's about to happen again. All right, they're gonna have policy where if you calling yourself a Hebrew Israelite, you could be labeled a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
All right, or you could be like like they say you're a threat to how they use the term, to a threat to peace or a threat to society or whatever. You know, it says, and pollute the sanctuary in the holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. All right, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
I just heard it sounded like that was an attempt, or that was an agenda.
Was
in the intent that they might forget. The word might, I know it also goes into like an unsurety. Mm-hmm. So they're working in a way, like I said, devising a way to make it happen. Yeah. Like a test and this and that, but to the intent that they would forget. Right. It's crazy, man. And it's worked. Yeah. And again, it's worked. This was a long process. It started back then. It's always been a thing. Esau from the very beginning, as we already know, as that serpent with Adam and Eve.
Yeah. And that's why he's violated so much. He's taken all these tenets of the ancient customs and brought it all together, and you're gonna be judged for all of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. the serpent, which was a man that spoke to Eve, but it was the spirit of Edomite, so-called white person. You know,
Spirit of the wicked.
spirit of the wicked came as Cain,
Mhm.
died, came back as Esau. All right, and then from Esau on then down with his actual line up till now, you know, ain't nothing good about this man's record. You know, it's violent and bloody. We brought out things like in the what is it 200 or the 297 years that America's been established. 293 of those years has been spent in war. So there's only been 7 years of peace. You know, so 93% of Esau's history is spent in war and death.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a culture of death.
culture of death.
Even when he says peace, we know he's talking bullcrap.
Yeah.
This is Psalms 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against broken. And the latest example is what he just did Persia, Iran, Elon. All right. Lured them to have peace talks at the same time he bombed them.
Mm-hmm.
So you just devil, man. Like your criteria fits the book. You know, your behavior fits the criteria of the wicked.
Yeah.
All right. So in the history of Antiochus, the fourth Epiphanes, okay? Slocky, bro.
Oh, you
it says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You see, and that's this devil, man. He's always ready for war, no matter what. And expect, don't let you be harmless. And what's the word for it?
Naive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, naive, harmless. When you don't pose a threat. Oh man, that's a field day for Esau. That's when they, essentially that's when they come even harder, man.
Oh yeah.
When they see an opening, when they see that you don't have nobody to protect you, that's why they go after kids.
Yeah, I mean, listen to that, man. How they their pride comes from harming innocent people.
Yeah.
What was it? I made a statement in the video. I said this devil hunts people that don't even know that it's part of that they're part of the game.
Yeah.
They don't even know that it's a game of hunting.
That's what America's all about, and it's funny because a long time I put in the chat GPT. I said, I asked it. I was like, damn. I was asking it a series of questions. And then I came to the conclusion. So I was like, I was at war with the government even before I was born. And then I told it to generate me a certain type of like visual of that, and it wouldn't do it for me. But because of the history involved, because they don't want us to connect that.
Mm-hmm.
The United States government or who's ever in power under the guise of the United States government, whatever, they don't want to connect the fact that they are at war, and their policies are basically systematically set up to sabotage and to weaken. Mm-hmm. Rather than to build and expand growth. They don't want you to make the connection. But I mean that connection has been made. So I got a few more precepts, and then Sirach 14:7.
Yep.
And then here I got Isaiah. This is Isaiah, and we're gonna see much more of but on a worse level when this New World Order is implemented. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verses 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And that's Esau. This whole system is based on corruption, writing all of these unruly, unlawful, unequitable, unfair laws. All right, and the scripture says, let the law of justice, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, it says, the wicked said that let our law be where it says, how'd it go? Salakia.
Let the law be their strength.
Yeah, let the law of justice be their strength. So they're using the law of justice as their strength, but that the law is supposed to bring forth equity, but it's bringing forth exploits, it's bringing forth grievousness, is bringing forth oppression, is bringing forth all of these things that shouldn't exist when you talk about the justice system, right? Because it's not good versus evil no more. That's not that dynamic. It's evil against, you know, everything else, or evil, you know, attacking everything else. That's what the system is about. It's about perpetuating evil. All right. So yeah, I'm done. I'm exhausted. My bad.
I'm gonna get this last one.
Go ahead, bro.
Sirach, I'm gonna start at 14 and verse 5. It says, actually, you know what?
We got a few conclusion scriptures, Psalms.
Sirach 14 and 4, it says, he that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods rightly. Everything that this man has accrued in his life is all been by fraudulence, you know, deception, as we tell you, by lying and stealing. What is that? Jeremiah 22 and 17. It says, but thine heart is not for thy covetousness, to steal, to lie, and to kill. You know, so, and it talks about getting, you know, building your house by violence.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you built this. This is your house. America is a so-called white man's house, and you did it by violence. You know, I think it was the Rothschild's mother. She had made a statement. She said that if my sons ever wanted peace, they would have never started war. And you've only seen war from the Rothschilds, man, the Rockefellers, and, you know, the elites. So, you know,
that's it. Man.
But it said, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he do good?
Right, evil to themselves.
Well,
before it was so-called black on black crime, it was always Edomite on Edomite crime, white on white. It's always been evil towards each other.
Made a lesson, said these maggers were duped. You see that they getting upset now, man.
Yeah,
it said
because they're the primary.
He saw evil to himself.
Yeah, you know, they're the ones being deceived the most.
Yep. So it says that there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. Yeah. So it says again, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and Esau envies the fuck out of himself, man. I see that shit all the time from the workers I work with, man. Looking dog shit, ugly, and, you know, unclean, and they think that they're the top, you know. Because real quick in the Salakia, but
no, you could.
Esau made, so agriculture is really something, it's a need to know thing for every person on the planet.
Yeah.
How to sustain off the land and cultivate the land, and, you know, livestock, all that type of stuff, man. Having the knowledge of how to deal with the animals and how to you know, so that you can sustain yourself. Agriculture in itself is a thing that is the most common need to know thing in your life.
Yeah.
Esau managed to be the guy that knows all about that, and you're the one who brought it up. I keep talking about this on my lessons, and I can't remember. You're gonna have to find it for me. You brought out a document where it said that there was a group of Edomites that were recorded in history, that it said at their best estate they were good farmers, but it said at their worst estate they were a cancer. They were violent.
Wow.
You brought it out, man, like 2 years ago, and I've been wanting to use it ever since. But look who's ruling today, and he's flexing his chest about being a farmer.
Yeah.
It's Esau.
Yeah.
And it's funny because
that's a secure place to be.
Yeah, I told an Edomite this, man. I was like that. The word farmer is actually meant to what do you call it? Address the lowest person of status, even below a peasant, who loves to be called farmers today, Edomites. So, you know, just, it's crazy how this man was able to make the basest of all men seem as if they were the hunky dory and the greatest of all time, man. That's
Yeah, because
crazy.
they gloat about them being basically survivalists, and they basically,
Hmm.
yeah, man, that's that really natural selection shit. Like,
The first
yeah,
generation of, you got like Gen X, millennial, and all that, but the first generation they called the greatest generation of all time, and that was a
hmm,
group of farmers, the company of farmers of Esau, you
yeah,
know.
but they would have never known how to farm.
Hmm.
Because if that was the case, they would have done that shit in Europe. They would have never had to come here
Yep.
and actually be taught how to survive in the winters and all of those things.
Yep.
And so that when they got that knowledge, they essentially and got power. They got power, and they cut everybody else from having that knowledge.
Yep. Yep.
Because we come from farmers
Yep.
in the South, right? We come from that cloth. All right. Our foreparents were farm. They had to live to sustain themselves.
Yep.
You know, had to raise animals. That's my brother. My brother down, that lives downstairs from me. He grew. He's essentially his all throughout high school. He was farming. He had to farm. My grandfather has a farm.
Nice.
Still to this day.
Lucky.
And yeah, man, it's just Esau, man. He's a damn devil, man. This damn devil.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah. Well, so, yep. So it says again, and if he, no, it says there is none worse than he that envieth himself,
Yeah.
and this is a recompense of his wickedness. Wickedness.
That's it. That's a recompense of your wickedness, man.
To envy yourself at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're gonna, and ultimately you're gonna destroy yourself. That's what this whole the World War III is about. Is about that.
Mhm.
Him destroying himself now. At the end all be all, because you couldn't love or you couldn't remain in peace with others around you. You end up destroying yourself. Think, and with the thought of you preserving yourself through your sword and sustaining life through your sword and cutting everybody else, you actually cut yourself off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid. And
Yeah.
that is one of the core principles that the scriptures teach you. Love your neighbor as I love yourself. So you're supposed to love yourself love your neighbor in order for everyone to flourish,
Yeah.
for everyone to be good. But the white man, he's the opposite. So you don't want to love your brother, you hate the Most High, then you're gonna destroy yourself.
Man, the growing up, man, it was Edomites that you would see that was burning anthills for fun.
Yeah.
You remember Loya posted that precept in Psalms in the NOT that says he's not afraid to burn others.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel bad for it.
That's the worst.
Yeah. So you're gonna pay for that, man. So it said, again, there's none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And if he do it good, he doeth it unwillingly.
That's it, unwillingly. He not doing it. It was an accident, and he'll take it back. And that's Esau, man. They don't do any charity unless they get a stipend or
Get something for it.
a write-off.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember that I was building bikes in the community in Racine, and it was charity work. I learned how to build bikes from nothing, and take them apart and put them back together. And you had certain people would donate, and this Edomite lady, she had a nice bike, and she was donating only for the purpose of her getting something back for her.
Yeah.
The purpose of donating is to for somebody else's benefit, because the reward is somebody receiving that gift, and that whatever it does for that person, whether it makes their life better, or it makes them happy. That's the reward in that.
Yep.
And that's what you're supposed to want to see. But at the end of the day, Esau just want to see that cash back. He want to see a return on his investment.
Yeah.
And that's a mechanical way to look at things. That's a dead way to look at things, man.
It says it right here. It
Oh,
says,
okay.
no, you're good. It says, and if you do it good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. It says, the envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despises men, rather than see something actually flourish and someone else can be at peace or good for it. You looking at it like, where's my money?
Right. Right.
I didn't get that shit for free.
Right.
You know, I want something back for it. You know,
Yeah, that's
crazy.
That's why this dude is condemned his own soul. So 2 more precepts have been done. Psalms 55 and 9, and then I'm gonna get First John.
Psalms 55 and 9, you
Yeah,
said?
you can read that whenever you get it.
Okay. Psalms 55. You want me to read this one first or that one?
Go ahead with that one. You close on this one.
Psalms 55 and 9. It says, "Destroy, O Yahweh, and divide their tongues. For I have seen violence and
Right. Divide their tongues. Right? Just like he did Nimrod in his New World Order. All right? Yeah, and he's gonna do that to Esau's New World Order system. He's gonna like Job 5 and 12 goes into, he's gonna cut off their enterprise. You know? So you got it, bro.
It says again, "Destroy, O Yahweh, and divide their tongues.
Mm-hmm.
For I have seen violence and strife in the city.
Yeah.
Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof.
That's America. America's that city. You know? You got it.
Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wickedness is in the midst thereof.
That's it.
Deceit and guile depart not from her streets."
That's it. Because this is the way of life that Esau has created. This is what persists.
Yep.
Evil and wickedness. Okay? And that it's going to all stop. You know? And so, like, next time, it'll be more structured. You know?
This is good.
But, you know, trying to be perfect and stuff. But, yeah, the same devil yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yep.
It was nothing but a spinoff of what it says about Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
But ultimately, we're looking to Yahweh Shai to establish the right way of living, to bring healing in his wings, salvation unto the nation of Israel. But because that's the only way that the world will flourish, is if his people is set up.
Yep.
And that law go forth.
Yep.
And judgment will come to pass. Judgment has to come to pass because that's the way of things. All right.
It said that Yahweh Shai's judgment was true and right.
Yep.
And so, Revelation 11 and 15 tells you that the kingdom of this world has become the kingdom of our Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only going to be the right way once Yahweh Shai, takes over this place. And technically, the one world order though is under Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
That's the right, because you got the left and you got the right. So yeah, and the law, you heathen are going to have to leave off your customs in the kingdom because your ways are off. That's why the law has to come from Israel.
They're unsustainable.
Yep.
And it's just not the true way. Yeah,
Yep.
It's not the true way.
Yep.
This is 1 John 3 and 8. It says, "He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning."
Mm-hmm.
See? And again, the same devil yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Who was that devil?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that devil though that Yahweh Shai spoke about? He said he was a murderer from the beginning when he was talking about the wicked Israelites he was talking to. You're of your father the devil. Who was that father? Esau.
He's talking about the seed of the wicked.
Yep.
He was talking about the seed of the wicked. And we know there's 3 classifications of men on earth. You have the sons of the wicked, the sons of men, which are the heathen nations, and the sons of God.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lord was in particular pointing out the sons of the wicked when he said that, when he was talking to the the father of the devil. So it says 1 John 3 and 8 again, "He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning." Right, and much more now. So how much more sin is going to be in the world if he sinned from the beginning?
Yep.
It says, "For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil."
There you go. Yeah.
And he's going to destroy his works. Ultimately, in conclusion of this lesson, that's what it's going to be, and that's what it has to be.
Yep.
So with that, hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, we say Shalom. I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers that's pushing the work in truth with all sincerity. Yeah. Shalom. Oh, I forgot you record.